Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad and honored to welcome you at the Bologna Business School. I thought we need to meet online, I think for a little longer, and hopefully we can meet in person. Today, we're very happy to open the Center for Executive Education on Sustainability. Julia, could we mute all the microphones, please? Thank you. Today, we are very happy to open the Center for Executive Education on Sustainability, a project that we started after the G7 Environment Ministers meeting that was hosted in Bologna on June 11 and 12, 2017, by the Italian Minister for Environment, Gianluca Galletti. I know that Gianluca is here, and Gianluca, thank you for your friendship and your support. Without you today, we wouldn't be here. I saw Gianluca somewhere just a little time ago. Gianluca, are you here? Okay, maybe we connect again with him later. The BBS Centre for Sustainability has the mission to support the development of people, organization, and society through executive education on sustainability management. BBS has a tradition in this field since we started the Global MBA on Green Energy and Sustainable Businesses in 2011. The program was started with the support of Enel and Enel Green Energy, when the chairman of Enel was Mr. Piero Gnudi, that I would like to thank, and the CEO of Enel Green Energy was Francesco Starace, that is today the CEO of Enel. And I would like to thank you both for your support and your leadership and for helping us to be here today. I also would like to thank the director, Professor Francesco Bertini, that today I think is coming back to Bologna after a meeting with the Minister of University and Research, and is represented by the Prorector Antonino Rotolo, who was actually participating to our project and supporting us in this idea of hiring assistant professors from different fields. As a matter of fact, we hired a group of 11 assistant professors in different disciplines, including industrial engineering, veterinary medicine, environmental engineering, management, obviously, law, electric and electronic engineering, physics, and geography. This is the first business school in Europe hiring a group of assistant professors from different disciplines to work together on this strategic issue. One of them that you will know later, we give a presentation on behalf of the others. She's Jelena Lonkarski, that you will meet shortly. Now, today, BBS offers a number of different programs on sustainability, and the activities of the center, including those programs, will be presented by Professor Matteo Mura, who is the director of our center. However, let me stress how this project mirrors the interdisciplinary nature and approach of the school that differentiated BBS since its birth almost 20 years ago. I'm also informing you that we have no news from Professor Nordhaus that was expected today. He sent a message mentioning an unexpected problem and suggesting to move the event to May 24th, that I don't think it was possible. We hope that he's in good health and everything is fine, and we expect him here at BBS for a speech as soon as possible. Possibly May 24th, it will be announced. As I said today,
Max, you are on mute.
I don't know where I lost you, but anyway, as I mentioned today, we start a new journey. The sustainability issue is challenging for all of us, including for small and medium enterprises. We have many of those in Emilia-Romagna that, as one of the leading European regions, is taking seriously this challenge, and our school is ready to play its part. Finally, I'm happy that our opening happens on the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biophobia. Sustainability has to do with climate and with society as well. The event will be closed with the closing remarks by Professor Romano Prodi, who is our lighthouse, especially during the dark nights and the bad weather days. So we thank you, Romano, for everything you do continuously for us. Once again, thank to our speakers and all the best to our 11 new young core faculty of the Center for Sustainability. On a personal basis, I always believe that working for the future is a great privilege because it gives a lot of meaning and motivation to the present. Thank you. Professor Rotolo, I think is your now the floor is yours for the opening remarks.
Thank you, Max. My side also on behalf of the rector, Max was saying, the rector is traveling from Milan to Bologna after the meeting with the ministry. But the pleasure, I will say, is a personal pleasure to welcome all of you to give this speech. Because as Max was saying, I contributed a bit on this process, the fact of launching this recruiting initiative that is so important for contributing to develop of the center. Well, you know, the center is very important, especially now. I mean, we are now during the pandemic, we are discovering the real, the true and deep meaning of what sustainability means. You know, the impact of the pandemic on public health, society, the economy. And in this context, I mean, universities are, and globally, must assume a leadership in determining, in identifying the path of recovery for development, for design the future, in which science, innovation, education are placed in the service of social equity, development, environmental protection, economic prosperity. The promoting and encouraging sustainable development in university implies a systemic approach. Max was mentioning that, right? The fact that different disciplines should cooperate together. Different defined research areas, organizational structures, priority projects, and in order to promote interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary policies that bring different competency stakeholders together to address the complexity of these challenges. The Center for Sustainability Climate Change represent precisely a clear example of how university can help address the issue of sustainable development, translating research, cutting-edge research into policies, and that's in policy and in export that and then activity also in business. Professors of the University of Bologna in cooperation with the Bologna Business School are the backbone of this BBS Centre for Sustainability and Climate Change. And they are the main contributors to teaching and applied research activities, combining different competencies and skills and research areas. They were already mentioned, so I will not repeat. Universities are, in that sense, are a multi-factor, they have multi-factor capabilities because in that sense, they are providing the necessary knowledge, evidence, solution for this goal. And the most effective way in which university can contribute is to do what they are able to do, promoting research and education, integrity, rigor, openness. Open science innovation is an important issue here. So I would like to mention this: cooperation, transparency, and accessibility. University and research support the implementation of sustainable development in order to understand the dynamics, the causes of the challenges, which are global challenges, as universities are. Universities are global. They are not national, they are not regional. Universities are global institutions by definition. And in order to fill the theoretical gaps, and in order to understand the physical world, the human system, and interaction between them, and to contribute to these challenges. Research are crucial in order to incorporate sustainable development into public policies. A very important task, and is very difficult, in order to also have a direct impact on stakeholders and stimulate community outreach for the dissemination of principles of sustainability among students, the academic community, business partners, and society. One, I think, challenge of university is to promote new paradigms, new models, and the real challenge remains the empowerment and mobilizing young people, involving students in the co-creation of learning environments and collaborative projects to change the real world. In fact, the most important innovation of sustainable development brings the shift of emphasis from teaching to learning and co-creation, as I already mentioned. An increasing number of companies are now identifying SDGs as a core part of their corporate strategy, adopting them in their business plans, in their remuneration policies, transforming them into real business opportunities, and reporting them in a transparent way. New approaches and strategies such as eco-efficiency, life cycle thinking, sustainable product design have been introduced and adopted by companies that wish to be at the leading edge of environmental industrial innovation. Although progress has been made, it is necessary to encourage companies to take a more proactive approach towards sustainability. The BBS Centre for Sustainability and Climate Change can contribute to this, cooperating efficiently with business to bring together knowledge, resources, and technologies required to address the challenge of our time. And activities could be training graduates in all fields to create rigorous research-based knowledge required for the innovation of technologies and business models, supporting incubating innovation for sustainable development solutions, contribute to the development of longer and more resilient private-public value chains capable of a more efficient technology transfer and product commercialization, and partnering with business, governing all levels of the civil society to advance policy development. All these are in the center. And this setting, in this sense, is a contribution to resilience. COVID is not the black swan. Resilience is the way in which we can change black swan into opportunities for our future. Thank you very much and good luck.
You are on mute, Max.
Thank you, Professor Rotolo. I'd like to give the floor to Professor Mura, who is the director of our new center, that we shortly introduce you to the activities of the center.
Thank you very much, Max. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm really excited and honored to share with you some thoughts about the Bologna Business School Center for Sustainability and Climate Change. I remember when we designed this first concept of the center, as Max was mentioning, 4 years ago, early June 2017, when we hosted at the Bologna Business School the G7 environment. And we had the chance actually to conceive this idea of an education center for companies and eventually policymakers that could leverage on different knowledge bases coming from the university to tackle sustainability challenges. I will focus my very brief presentation on two main topics. First of all, I would like to introduce you to the aim and scope of the center, and then a brief overview of the center's strategy. Actually, the center aims to become a European benchmark in translating transdisciplinary research on business sustainability, climate change, and sustainability transitions into management education programs and initiatives that aim to provide a positive impact on business communities and society. Here, the key words is actually transdisciplinary approach that is actually supported by a quite rich team of 10 assistant professors that will soon become 11 that are working currently in the center. And they come from as much as 9 different university departments. And their competencies are very broad and range from science and technology, business and management, politics and governance. And soon you will learn from Yelena some of the key characteristics of this very vibrant pool of competencies. Regarding strategy, the center strategy focuses on 3 main pillars: learning, education, and impact. Learning actually refers to the Bologna Business School educational activities on sustainability, climate change, and business ethics. We currently run 5 master programs, 3 university masters, 1 global MBA that was started 11 years ago with the support of NL in green energy and sustainable businesses, a master in green management and sustainable business, and the newly born master in sustainability transition management that we launched last year during the pandemic in a hybrid, both online and in presence mode. And then 2 executive masters in sustainability and business innovation devoted to Italian professionals, and also the master in sustainability transition management executive master devoted to an international audience. And then several open and custom programs that we developed together with companies in a customized mode. Then, in order to spread the ideas of sustainability and business ethics to the all courses of the school, to the all masters, 5 years ago, we decided to include 1 course on sustainability or business ethics in each degree program of the school. Together with this, we asked each professor teaching a course at the Bologna Business School to tick up to 3 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in its own syllabus. And at the end of the course, we asked students to rate the course against these 3 SDGs. Additionally, we included the Sully test at BBS 2 years ago. The Sully test is an initiative launched by the United Nations in order to improve the literacy on sustainability for our students, faculty, and staff. And finally, this year, we launched the Walk the Talk, the integration of ethics, responsibility, and sustainability into the Bologna Business School activities. This is actually a seminar that all the new students that have been accepted into a BBS program will have to attend. And this seminar highlights the school policy towards sustainability, ethics, and responsibility. Let's now move to the second pillar, that is dissemination. That highlights the Bologna Business School's commitment to promoting and disseminating its research on ethics, responsibility, and sustainability among its students, the academic community, business partners, and society as a whole. Several initiatives have been launched, just to mention a few. Last year, we started the Bologna Business School case study series titled Taking Italian Excellence Global in partnership with the CEST Centre. We currently have published 12 cases, and 12 more are shortly being published, will be shortly published. And 30% of these cases focus on circular economy, sustainability issues, or social innovation. We are currently running an observatory on sustainable development called the Sustainability Measurement and Management Laboratory that currently has assessed roughly 4,000 Italian companies against 70 key performance indicators related to sustainability. And this is actually a project that allows us to enrich our syllabi in different courses and to explore which are the benchmark companies across Italian industries in sustainability transitions. Then the Bologna Business School Innovation Talks over the year hosted several sustainability champions in their talks, and they were invited to speak at the innovation talks. Finally, research. All of us is engaged in academic publication, as the prorector was mentioning, academic publication in peer-reviewed journals. But we try to move beyond that, and we try to translate that strictly academic knowledge into a more public knowledge for practitioners, for companies, by means of articles in newspapers, by means of research reports for public sector organizations, so on and so forth. And finally, I would like to emphasize the very close collaboration that we have with the Alma Climate, the research center of the University of Bologna that focuses on climate change and sustainability on research. And finally, the third pillar of our strategy, impact, that actually focuses on a set of initiatives that have a direct impact on Bologna Business School stakeholders and simulate community and outreach, both locally and globally. Again, just to mention a few initiatives. Last year, during the pandemic, Bologna Business School launched the REACT Innovation Program, where students of the Bologna Business School, alumni and faculty offered free consultancy, project management activities, and networking services to local companies that were heavily affected by the COVID-19 pandemic and supported them in recovery. Every year, we offer several scholarships for our students, both Italian and international students. And finally, we try to operationalize and implement what we preach. So, Bologna Business School Sustainable Campus. 4 days ago, the construction works for our new campus just kicked off. The new campus has been designed and will be constructed accordingly to the highest energy saving standards. In BBS, we are currently running a carbon neutral project, and the school will be carbon neutral by the end of the next year. And then other policies concerning recycling of paper, plastic, and glass, agreements with public transportations in order to allow most of our students to get access to public transportation services. And finally, the boot camps that every summer we organize with the kids of our students, of our alumni, of our faculty and staff. So in conclusion, we are looking forward to work with each of you, both individuals and companies, that do care about sustainability and climate change, and aim to provide a positive impact towards businesses, the planet, and our society. Thank you. Max, over to you.
Thank you, Matteo. And now welcome again to Francesco Starazzi, the CEO of Enel. Francesco, we are eager to know from you what you think about this challenge, about education, managed education in sustainability, as well as obviously what Enel is doing in this field. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you for your long-lasting friendship, and thank you for being here, obviously.
Thank you, Max, and congratulations for this great initiative. I think it's very timely. It's a great opportunity to to really dip deeper into the big theme of sustainability. So we don't have too much time. I would like just to maybe explain a little bit to everyone why we think this is a very interesting initiative, and what we think those that participate and the students and the faculty would probably greatly benefit from going through the journey. We see sustainability as characterized by two attributes. One is a matter of time, because sustainability is directly linked with time. And the second one is a matter of risk, because sustainability is directly linked to the risk profile of anything that we do or that we see doing. And you know, if we want to look at the various dimensions that sustainability takes They vary in geography, they vary in time. And today, for some obvious reasons, the environmental declination of sustainability takes a large part of the discourse. We speak a lot about climate, we speak a lot about carbon, we speak a lot about the urgency, the time problem that this brings about. But elsewhere, in other parts of the world, there is, for example, a lot to discuss about inequality and what differences exist in society between those that have and those that don't, and those that have materially and those that have a future and those that don't. So again, time comes again in the theme of sustainability. And in all the places where we work, the overarching need of the right policies and frameworks that would be conducive to a more sustainable future is really big. So you see the E, the S, and the G acronyms are all represented in the sustainable big word. And because this is such a varied and large theme, I think it's really useful that universities like you make it a little bit the subject of study and the subject of definition, because without that, the risk is that it ends into some kind of fuzzy, nice feeling, but really not useful. And this is what happened in our case. We started our sustainability journey from the observation of why did we exist? What was our reason of being, and what was the reason and what was the purpose of our activity? Electricity utilities were all born with a major scope, which is to serve communities, serve people, bring light to them and keep the lights on. And then this started, evolving over the years, but this big theme, this deep sense of service and belonging to community is the chromosome out of which this industry was born. And because this is something that has to do with empowering human activity and empowering progress, so again, the future for society, we found out what kind of mistakes we had been making over the years. Perhaps the word mistake is maybe not the right word, but what practices did we inherit from the past that were not anymore palatable for the future or for the present? And we found out that there was a lot of that needed to be changed in the way in which we did business, in the way in which we projected our future, in the way in which we thought we would go about our business. And we found out that we needed to really embrace that change, but we had no way of doing it if not innovating a lot of our processes and business organizations. So we turned to that part and said, okay, we need to change, and that means we need to innovate our business practices. And we found a problem that is deep-rooted into our industry, but it is present in many other industries. And that is the problem is that in our industry, making mistakes is really dangerous. It is something that if you are an employee of a utility, you learn that priority number one is be safe and not make mistakes. And that is also be a priority number 2 and 3, because mistakes that we make are disastrous for society. They really end up in bad ways. So how can we have an innovation culture coupled with let's say, mistake demonization? If you want to innovate, you have to accept mistakes. You need to be open to the fact that you can try and fail. And that was not what we had in the company. So we said we need to find a driver to innovate and to trigger innovation. We did it by stimulating the surfacing of problems that we never really succeeded in solving within our own business practices. Typically, management doesn't want to hear problems. They want to only have solutions. And the thing is, don't come with me with problems, come with me with solutions. So we said, no, please don't try solutions. Just bring out problems that need to be solved. And we went out into those places in the world where we found a combination of academia, so universities, entrepreneurship, and willingness to take risks. And the first one was Tel Aviv in Israel. Then we went to Silicon Valley, and we opened up a lot of these innovation hubs where all we did was bring to these kind of people problems that did not find solutions. And by getting a lot of potential solutions, 5 solutions, only 1 was right, but no matter. You know, we started developing a problem coming out pattern within our own organization that then when people started to see that they were free to give us problems without solutions needed, they started to generate a lot of problems. And we started to find answers from outside. So people started to see that it was possible to try and give answers, even if they were not sure about the solutions. And we started to trigger an innovation process, which went into the changing mode to change our processes to make them more sustainable. So it took a little bit of a tortuous route in our case in order to get to the sustainability end. But we needed to trigger the innovation in order to achieve sustainability. And in this process, we found that innovability, that this word that Mr. Chora coined, innovation is a means and sustainability is an end. So we want to be sustainable because we want to de-risk the company, and we want the company to stand the test of time. And in order to do this, we had to innovate. So you will find out that many of the innovation that we introduced in the company are not necessarily technologically driven, but they are rather changes in the way in which we do things or the processes that govern the way in which we work, or a combination of the two. To make a long story short, we focused all our effort on 4 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. One rule that you will find out on the Global Compact is that a company should not go more than 3 or 4 goals, because that really is a lot. So we have 4 SDGs as our focus, and we funnel all our activities around these 4. They have to do, of course, with the clean energy revolution. They have to do with the innovation of industry and infrastructure. They have to do in communities and sustainable cities. And they have to do, of course, with climate change. These are the 4, SDGs 7, 9, 11, 13. By doing that, we were able to tie everything we do, even our financial results, directly to these 4 SDGs. And if you go today on our website, you will find out a comprehensive financial report and fully integrated with sustainability goals and sustainability and impact sustainability metrics. For the first time, this is the first year in which we were finally able to couple these 2 things. We believe that it is not the end. This is going to be a very, very long journey, and that sustainability of a company typically ends somewhere and then starts immediately, because no company works in isolation. So today, for example, we are entering the journey of interfacing with all our suppliers and making sure that what our sustainability story is also part of theirs, and vice versa. So the integration between the value chains that feed into our system are now starting, and we see the results also in the participation of all the small medium enterprises that are part of this huge effort. The result is the following, that the company is less risky. The people are more motivated and understand why we do things. And several wrong decisions are simply no more possible. So there is not the fact that you have to avoid the wrong decision. They're simply made impossible by the sustainability guidance itself. So all in all, the results of the company improved. Our cash generation is a lot better than it was years ago. Also because we embraced these kind of principles. So it is a very concrete connection between what sustainability does to the company's result, provided that there is a little bit of a coherence in the discourse. I gave you this example because I think that most of all of you that will participate to this course will probably go back somewhere and try to apply what you have learned to your practical business experience. And I think you will find out that a lot of what seems kind of strange and detached has profound implication at practical level within the company performances. So thanks for listening for these 15 minutes and good luck.
Thank you, Francesco. And thank you also for what you do, for your leadership. I think it's now the time to listen to our new fellows. So Elena, please take the floor.
Thank you very much. I'll just share my screen. Okay, so I would like to wish a good afternoon to all. Let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Jelena Lončarski, Assistant Professor of Power Electronics and Drives at University of Bologna, and I'm part of Bologna Business School Center of Sustainability and Climate Change. I have to say I'm very honored to be speaking at this important event and in front of such an important audience, made of courageous people willing to make a change. Today, I will talk about transdisciplinary collaboration, research and innovation, the weapons through which we will tackle the challenges of the future, to protect the future of our children and our children's children, giving a true practical contribution to a more sustainable business, for a more sustainable planet. But what are these challenges? Here they are, effectively condensed by the United Nations in the Sustainable Development Goals that we are all familiar with. They range from eradicating poverty and hunger, improve education, reduce inequalities, to green energy industrialization, build resilient communities, protection of the environment. They represent the starting point of our work here at BBS Centre for Sustainability and Climate Change. But they also represent the points against which our contribution will be ultimately evaluated, together with our ability to develop and support the implementation of a new sustainability-oriented business models and practices. Each of these goals represents a complex task and requires the introduction of innovative and radical solutions, both in our society and in our businesses. But how can we tackle all of them? Here, what is the real challenge? We need to change our mindset. We need to move away from the knowledge silos approach, in which different disciplines such as science and technology, business and management, and politics and governance are indeed different fields within these same disciplines, work as watertight compartments with limited collaboration and transfer of knowledge, experience, applications, and methods. We even need to go beyond the simple interdisciplinary approach, where collaboration occurs, but often limited in scope. And instead exploit a truly transdisciplinary approach in which the boundaries between disciplines are permeable and knowledge and experience are truly shared among all fields to pursue a unique goal. This is what the BBS Centre for Sustainability and Climate Change is all about. This is its strength, its uniqueness, and the approach that we must use to effectively tackle the challenges for the sustainable future. I'm pleased to be introducing to you a group of people that forms the BBS Centre for Sustainability and Climate Change. It is taken for granted when we speak about the importance of transdisciplinarity and collaboration, but what really matters are the physical people working on the same goal. From a first glance, it is possible to understand that I'm speaking about a group of young people, but that are already formed scientists. I'm also speaking about the gender equality, multinational origins, and significant international experience. And what is the most important, a really multidisciplinary group that aims to be truly transdisciplinary. Myself, for example, is working in the field of electrical engineering. Sara works on business sustainability. We have the geologist Davide. Andrea is a geographer of the environment. Salvatore is working on the atmospheric aspects of the climate change, and so on. We were born here in Bologna, where the industrialization and the configuration of the territory significantly impact the air pollution and air quality. So why exactly here? Not by chance, but for the challenges and for the opportunities that this territory offers. The environmental challenges that we need to tackle to pursue sustainability. The availability of cutting-edge technologies, such as supercomputing power available at Cineca, which will also host the Weather Forecast Center, just as an example. The presence of the state-of-the-art industrial ecosystems with many companies that are really pushing the technological boundaries in their respective fields, including packages, automotive, pharmacy, food industry, and many more. But now I would like to try and put into practice all the innovative concepts that we talk about in this presentation. Let us have a look at a practical example of transdisciplinary projects, such as fossil fuel phase out. Why is this important? Let me just lay out a few numbers. 280 parts per million CO2 concentration in the atmosphere in 1900. 420 parts per million CO2 concentration in the atmosphere in 2018. This resulted in increase of 0.83 the global warming observed between pre-industrial era and 2015. We all know the significant negative impact that this is having on our planet and society, and the significant positive impact that green transition would provide. So how can we use a transdisciplinary approach to exploit our competencies and support such a transition? Let us consider three of us, members of the BBS Centre. Maria Alessandra from Science and Technology can contribute by assisting in the development of innovative renewable-based technologies, as the power to gas to produce green hydrogen or synthetic methane, and optimization strategies for smart energy district, including the spread of thermal prosumers. Sara, our business sustainability and management expert, can support industrial transition pathways, identify specific KPIs, such as carbon intensity and socioeconomic externalities generated, and apply methods to measure and report sustainability in companies in terms of products and processes throughout their life cycle. Andrea, geographer and politics and governance scientist, can assess the impact of carbon taxes on PL accounts of companies and supporting green policy making towards a more sustainable future. As you see, we are progressively moving from a local technical perspective to a broader issue and challenges, moving to business, and then impacts and changes for the society as a whole. At the same time, contributing to tackle several SDGs, including those that are common to all of us, pursuing quality education and partnerships for the goals. Several partnerships can potentially stem from such an approach. For example, when we are speaking about energy production and distribution, we can think about reaching progressive transition towards sustainable sources and identifying and optimizing the use of new renewable energy sources. When we speak about the recycling industry, we can think on the development of end-of-life scenarios to manage, recycle, reuse materials related to green energy equipment. The industry and manufacturing sectors can be responsible of designing and commercialization of new technologies, materials and products, and the implementation of production methods that optimize energy usage. Finally, policymakers can promote and facilitate the transition to green energy. This all can happen only if we are brave enough to imagine the transdisciplinary collaboration that can foster the development of sustainable business models and socio-technical green innovation. And finally, here we can see some of the most significant potential impacts that we can make. And we can see that our transdisciplinary approach can make a contribution to all of these SDGs. I will not go through each and every one of these points, but I will point out once again that this is how our work will be evaluated, how the success of our approach will be measured. In this presentation, we saw how there are different levels of collaboration. We need to establish not only the horizontal level of this transdisciplinarity, where each one of us is bringing his or her own competence and knowledge together with the others, but also vertical level, where we partner with companies to influence business and society, ultimately bringing a positive impact on climate and life quality. And so let me conclude with the potential impact the center can have through such a transdisciplinary approach. They include designing and undertaking high-impact research projects built on interdisciplinary collaboration, developing new partnerships with companies to foster sustainable innovation, technologies and business models, proposing new sustainable business-oriented educational programs to provide students with readily applicable multidisciplinary competencies, disseminating research results and outcomes, making them accessible to and understandable to a variety of audiences. So with this in mind, and on behalf of my colleagues, I thank you for your attention. I am really hoping to see you all soon at the Bologna Business School.
Thank you, Yelena, and thank you to all the fellows for the presentation. We appreciate your effort, and I believe you really are interpreting the approach, the idea of trying to be interdisciplinary as much as we can. Obviously, interdisciplinarity is a journey, is not something that is given since the beginning. Most of the business schools around the world started to teach sustainability in the classes, relying on the existing models. I do believe that a different approach that brings us in new fields and in new territories, like if we are doing an expedition in a new world, is really the right approach. So we wish you the best for your job and your effort, and we really believe that is also a very important thing that you grow as a team, and so welcome on behalf of the school and the school community.
Thank you so much.
And now, before closing, I'm glad to leave the floor to Professor Prodi. Romano, I believe you are on mute.
No, I am. Well, at least here. Look, I think, do you listen to me?
Yes, positive.
Okay. I repeat, I am very honored to be here to close this meeting. It was absolutely of highest interest. Because, you know, I want, in the beginning, when I listened to the idea, the proposal of a Center for Sustainability and Climate Change, my first reaction was, why a business school? And clearly now, not now, but I was thinking about it, and I, of course, have followed deeply all the process bringing to this new world approach on sustainability. And I do think that we need business school, because till now I have seen that there was no idea of transitional approach, as Elena has told now. Everybody was thinking to his small field, and at least when you arrive to the political decision, you never have the global approach. I followed the process of green politics since the beginning, because I personally was begging around the world to have the signature of the Kyoto Protocol when the US and China were against any policy of synthetic global change, you know. And but honestly, I followed also the failure of getting the goals step by step, even after the Paris Agreement of 2015, we didn't get the goals. We didn't get the goals. And now, in spite of the fantastic efforts and leading position of Enel, but we have only 3-4% of world energy produced with the new technology, with the green technology. And, you know, this is why, and also as a politician, I am afraid of a danger that we had in the past, you know, when we shifted with a strong accent to solar and wind energy. And at least in the solar energy, we simply lifted the production of the new instrument to China. And of course, with the revolution we have in our mind, if we do that, even in the future, with the new instrument starting from hydrogen to, let's say, all other ideas, and we leave that our industry, they don't make progress in the direction of being active in this, we should have a popular reaction against green policy. Because clearly, if we don't transform technology, the business environment, the company strategy, if we don't do this change, clearly we shall assist to a reaction against the change. So business school is in the middle of that, because you will have the responsibility to link, as Elena told, the technology with let's say, companies' management, having a close relation with the political bodies, with the regional authorities, local authorities, and this means a really multidisciplinary approach. And this is why it's nice when you, Elena, presented the list of the new responsible, I enjoyed it because there are multidisciplinary experience. And so my let's say, my wish, my hope that you will cooperate together, bringing a synthetic picture to the students. Not easy because I know that everybody who has been educated in one specific field has a lot of difficulties to merge it with also with friends or with cooperators. So I do repeat what I told you, this short wish I am doing. I do repeat what I told you at the beginning. A business school is a place in which you can do it, because economics, organization, technology, political sensibility, this is the mix that you need to give to your student. Otherwise, I repeat, the Green Revolution will not happen, because we make do this revolution acceptable for people. We cannot bring the revolution with unemployment. We cannot do it with fear or with the lack of information. And so, please, my wish is that you cooperate together for the good goal of the new initiative. Thank you so much, and best wishes.
Thank you, President Prodi.
Thank you.
Thank you, Francesco. Thank you, Elena. Thank you, Matteo. Thank you to all the guests. Thank you to the prorector. Building the future together is better and easier. There is no future if you don't build it together. So I think it is a very nice attempt, and thank you for staying with us in this afternoon, and all the best to the new faculty and to the new center. Good evening, and thank you again. Ciao Francesco, thank you.
Ciao, arrivederci.
Presidente.
Arrivederci, grazie a tutti.
Grazie mille.
Arrivederci.
Grazie, arrivederci a tutti.
Bye bye.